up, guys? So today's topic in the Oscars discussion series, I want to talk about Best Actor and talk about 10 leading man performances which didn't get an Oscar nomination but rightfully deserved one. If you guys are new to this channel and want more movie, TV and Oscars related content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, please do hit that like button and be sure to let me know in the comment section down below which leading male performances you think should have made it into this list. Hopefully you'll inspire me to check out some of your suggestions and vice versa, maybe you'll check out some of mine. It's a two-way street. And if you have any more suggestions or requests for Oscars related content like ranking videos or top 10s, pop it in the comment section down below. Just doing the research for this video, I discovered there were so many amazing leading man performances that didn't get an Oscar nomination, so it was actually quite hard to pick just 10. I mean, with only 5 slots each year, there's bound to be a few snubs, but the performances that I picked in this video are the performances which have stood the test of time, have become iconic in their own right, or they just genuinely baffle me as to how they could have slipped through the cracks during award season. So kicking off the list at number 10, we have Edward Norton for his astonishing performance as the unnamed narrator in David Fincher's brilliant satire, Fight Club. I like to think his character is called Jack, just because of all the Jack references. I am Jack's cold sweat. I am Jack's smirking revenge. I am Jack's inflated sense of rejection. But no, on IMDb he's just listed as the narrator, so whatever. Released in 1997, Fight Club was actually considered a flop on release, but over time gained a hardcore cult following. You can't watch a film vlogger on YouTube without them referencing some of the iconic lines in the videos. First rule of Fight Club, you do not shut up, we know! While every man who has ever watched Fight Club longed to be Brad Pitt's anarchist Tyler Durden, I still want to be Tyler Durden. It's Edward Norton that grounds this film as the emasculated, sleep-deprived narrator. Norton finds an impressive balance between relatable everyman and mentally detached loner. He is remarkable as this unremarkable guy. Fight Club is so iconic now that it's strange to think that it was almost completely overlooked by the Academy. I believe due to its divisive initial reception as well as its socially stirring content, the Academy just wasn't ready for a film like Fight Club. Instead, 20 plus years later, they give Joker 10 nominations to make up for it. It just shows you how far we've come because violent and anti-establishment films have become more celebrated now. Edward Norton received a nomination for his performance in American History the year prior, but he was robbed for Fight Club.
I am Jack's complete lack of surprise.
Right, next up at number 9, we have Jeff Bridges in his most iconic role. You all know the one that I'm talking about. It's the dude in the Coen Brothers' The Big Lebowski. Jeff Bridges has become synonymous with this character. He probably still gets people reciting to him the dude dialogue on a daily basis. It's a performance that has been tattooed on the zeitgeist, but like Fight Club, The Big Lebowski is another film that wasn't fully appreciated upon release. 1998, 1 year after Fight Club. The Academy didn't nominate this film for anything, not even for the screenplay. But time has been kind to The Big Lebowski. It's gone down in history as one of the best comedies of all time. Maybe that was the problem, being in the genre comedy during a time when the Academy showed a preference towards dramatic movies. But Jeff Bridges' renowned performance as the dude lives on to this day. Coming in at number 8, we have Korean actor Kang-ho for his most visible performance of his career so far as the Kim patriarch Kai-taek in Bong Joon-ho's Parasite. As grateful as I am that the Academy showered Parasite with 6 nominations, it ended up winning 4. One of those was Best Picture. It would have still been nice to have seen at least one performance from Parasite get a nomination at the Oscars. I mean, they managed to win the SAG Ensemble Award, so why were there no nominations at the Oscars? It's really frustrating. There were so many great performances in this film, but Kang-ho was definitely a standout. He's a regular collaborator with Bong Joon-ho, and he's like a household name in Korea. And for an international actor, landing an Academy Award nomination can really boost your profile to the Western masses. But despite a nuanced performance which was both humorous and tragic, he still didn't make the cut. This one still stings. Coming in at number 7, we have a performance which needs to be discussed more. It's Tyrin Turner as the conflicted teen and drug dealer Kane in the Hughes brothers' Menace to Society. I'm guessing a bunch of you watching this have no idea who Tyrin Turner even is. Well, back in 1993, Turner was tipped to be a huge star when he exploded onto the scene in the violent and powerful Menace to Society. When you see Menace to Society, you'll see why Tyrin Turner was a big deal back in the early 90s. His performance as Kane earned him an Independent Spirit Award nomination, and many expected an Oscar nomination to follow. But sadly, it never came to fruition, and Turner's career just kind of lilted after that. Turner's performance in the LA gang drama is ferociously magnetic. He's got that thing, you know, that X factor, the secret ingredient, that unique star quality that you can't help but be infatuated watching. And seeing his characters sink deeper and deeper into this hardened killer is gripping. How he went unnoticed by the Academy doesn't add up. My guess is that because this was a time when the Academy was predominantly made up of older white men, that this film was considered too vulgar, too controversial, and too violent at the time. That's the sad truth. Okay, let's move on to number 6. Now, if I say Malcolm McDowell, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Most likely, it's this image of him as Alex in Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange. Why? Malcolm McDowell has had a long career, but he has never been able to shake off the image of his most famous role, the antisocial, ultra-violent rapist Alex. It's a performance which requires the actor to go to some very dark places, and that's what Malcolm McDowell did, and he did it so well. Once you see him do his rendition of Singing in the Rain, you can't ever forget it. And that's why I think Malcolm McDowell didn't get a nomination for A Clockwork Orange, because like Tyrin Turner in Menace to Society, the content of A Clockwork Orange was quite controversial and quite violent for 1971. Again, this is another one of those performances which I don't think the Academy was ready to celebrate. It's quite common in the Stanley Kubrick movies. There's loads of actors that haven't been nominated for their work. There you go, there's another idea for a video. Do you want a top 10 Stanley Kubrick actor performances not to get a nomination? If you do, let me know in the comment section below. But given that this is Malcolm McDowell's most iconic role, and A Clockwork Orange did get nominated for Best Picture, Director, Adapted Screenplay, and Editing, it sucks that he didn't get a nomination for what will be undoubtedly his legacy. I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. Next in at number 5, we have the performance which proved that Jim Carrey was more than just a rubbery-faced buffoon. It proved he actually had genuine acting chops. It's for his role as Truman Burbank in Peter Weir's The Truman Show. This film also came out in 1998, the same year as The Big Lebowski, so that's 2 films with 2 amazing leading men performances which didn't get an Oscar nomination. With Jim Carrey and The Truman Show, this is another case of an actor ticking all the necessary Academy criteria for a nomination, but still coming up short. Let's see, The Truman Show was both critically acclaimed and a smash hit at the box office. It had a notorious comedic actor turn in a dramatic performance, which the Academy usually loves. I mean, Robin Williams won his Oscar for Good Will Hunting the previous year, and Jim Carrey's performance as Truman received universal praise, and Jim Carrey also campaigned for the nomination. Heck, he even won the Golden Globe for it. But he was still shut out that year. Considering that Roberto Benigni won that year for his fantastic performance in Life is Beautiful, it's really sad that Jim Carrey was excluded for his serious work. And to this day, Jim Carrey still hasn't received an Academy Award nomination for any of his work. What is up, Academy? Alright, coming in at number 4, we have a performance which feels rather timely given the current resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement. It's British actor David Oyelowo for his captivating performance as civil rights activist Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in Ava DuVernay's Selma. How does a critically acclaimed performance in a successful movie about one of history's most important figures, Martin Luther King, not get a nomination for Best Actor? This is the definition of an Oscar bait role. As far as important historical figure biopics go, American figures by the way, they don't get much more important and significant than Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So why the snub? According to David Oyelowo himself, he seems to think that the reason he went unnoticed by the Academy is because he, Ava DuVernay, and the rest of the cast of Selma showed up to the premiere of the film wearing these t-shirts saying, "I can't breathe." This was in protest and as a response to the death of Eric Garner, a black man who had been suffocated to death in a chokehold by a white police officer. officer. Here we are 6 years later, and it feels like history has repeated itself with George Floyd and the "I can't breathe" slogan being all over social media. If this actually was the reason as to why David Oyelowo was excluded from the Best Actor nominees that year, then I am genuinely upset by this. If David Oyelowo standing up for basic human rights cost him a much-deserved Oscar nomination, that's fucked up. It's practically dishonoring Martin Luther King's legacy, being penalized for standing up for what's right. Where's the logic in that? There might have been other factors at play. This was a very competitive year for Best Actor, but this also was during 2015 when the hashtag #OscarsSoWhite was trending because there were all white actors nominated. But if David Oyelowo didn't make the cut just because he peacefully protested, then this is an instance where the Academy were on the wrong side of history. At number 3, we have Cary Grant for probably his most beloved film, Alfred Hitchcock's North by Northwest. Also, this isn't the last Hitchcock performance on this list, by the way. Stay tuned for that. Cary Grant's performance as Roger Thornhill in North by Northwest is legendary. I bet most of you are picturing that crop duster shot right now, aren't you? Weirdly, Cary Grant was nominated twice before for an Oscar for Perry's Serenade and None But the Lonely Heart, but never again after those, which is strange because all of his most remembered movies came out after those two Oscar noms. It's a shame because North by Northwest is one of the greatest movies of all time, and Cary Grant is so damn suave in this film. It's really stood the test of time, both the film and Cary Grant's performance. Cary Grant did receive a Lifetime Achievement Award in 1970, but even though he didn't ever win a competitive Oscar, his legacy still lives on. If anything, the Academy needed Cary Grant more than Cary Grant needed the Academy. Coming in at number 2, we have what I believe to be the biggest snub for an acting nomination of the past decade. Anybody who knows me knows how I go on and on and on about this movie and its skin-crawling performance from its leading man, Jake Gyllenhaal, in Dan Gilroy's neo-noir thriller, Nightcrawler. Have you guys ever done this? You're watching a movie and at the end of it, you walk out and you go, well, I know who's gonna win Best Actor at the Oscars next year. That's how confident I felt with Jake Gyllenhaal's performance in Nightcrawler. I thought he was going to be a shoo-in to win Best Actor. But in 2015, when they announced the nominees for Best Actor, it was the same year as David Oyelowo for Selma, by the way, and Jake Gyllenhaal didn't even make the list of nominees, I went apoplectic. Robbed! Yes, like I said before, it was a great year for leading man performances, but I was so upset because the reason I thought Gyllenhaal deserved to win is because I didn't even recognize him in Nightcrawler. He disappeared into the role of Lou Bloom. That's how good he was. Ugh, I can't even. It always riles me up talking about this exclusion because honestly, Gyllenhaal's performance in Nightcrawler is probably in my top 20 performances of all time. Not even kidding. Jake Gyllenhaal's absence from Best Actor that year, somebody should have been arrested because he was robbed. And last but not least, coming in at number 1, we have a performance where I was certain the actor in question did receive a nomination for this performance. However, when doing the research for this video, I was gobsmacked to learn they actually never received a nomination for this role. Because it's one of those roles that even if you haven't seen the movie, you probably have heard of the character. And when I saw he wasn't nominated, I was like, no, that can't be right. It's another Hitchcock performance, one that has stood the test of time. It's Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates in Psycho. One of the most essential movies ever made with one of the most iconic characters of all time, Norman Bates. The beautiful thing about Anthony Perkins' performance is how layered it is and how he conveys the many personas of Norman Bates. The affable motel owner, the mama's boy, and of course, the other thing, which I won't say in case you guys haven't watched it. If you haven't, why haven't you? It's amazing, watch it. Janet Leigh got a nomination for Best Supporting Actress for her turn as femme fatale Marion Crane, but Anthony Perkins oddly didn't receive the honour that she did. But of course the Academy couldn't have known at the time that this slasher film Psycho would go on to be one of the most renowned, beloved cinematic classics of all time. So in hindsight, it's a real shame that Anthony Perkins didn't get a nomination for Best Actor, given the longevity of the character of Norman Bates. So yeah, the exclusion of Anthony Perkins for his role in Psycho really does feel like one of the biggest missed opportunities in the Academy history. There we go, guys. Those were 10 leading men who deserved an Oscar nomination but sadly didn't get one. But as always, this is just one bloke's opinion. I want to hear from you guys. Were there any other leading men performances that I missed out which should have made an appearance in this list? What do you think? Be sure to let your voice be heard in that comment section down below. If you have any suggestions or requests for any other Oscars related content, be sure to pop it in the comment section down below as well. If you like this video, please hit that like button, and for more movie, TV and Oscars related content just like this, don't forget to click subscribe. If you want to follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, stay up to date when all those videos are coming out. All those links in the video description down below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, the Oscars, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Airfield, and I'll see you next time.